Homeported in Norfolk, Virginia, USS New York was the first of three 9/11 tribute ships built by the U.S. Navy. It displaces approximately 24,900 tons fully loaded and is 684 feet long. Steel from Ground Zero in New York City was used in the construction of USS New York as a lasting tribute to the city and the events of September 11, 2001. In total, 7.5 tons of steel were used in the bow stem of the vessel. Additionally, artifacts, plaques, artwork, and symbols of 9/11 are on display throughout the ship so that the sailors never forget. Throughout this video, we will be including experiences from sailors who are currently serving aboard USS New York, their sense of purpose, and what it means to them personally. Lieutenant Corey Logan remembers.
So the New York, being one of the 9/11 ships, is kind of a constant reminder. You remember where you were. If you were alive on 9/11, you remember where you were, you remember the type of day you were having. It's a big moment.
Not all sailors who serve on New York are old enough to remember the events of September 11, 2001. However, even the younger sailors, such as Hospital Corpsman 3rd Class Lucas, are fully aware of the event's historical significance, giving them a unique sense of pride.
History is, if it's not taught, it's forgotten, right? And if you lived under a rock your entire life, you step foot on this ship, you will know what happened on that day, because this ship is literally, to me, a floating museum to remember everything and everyone who lost their lives on that day.
This piece of steel outside the pilot house recovered from Ground Zero is twisted from the high pressure and heat resulting from the attacks. Artifacts such as this are not just reminders, but physical proof of what happened that day. Another such reminder is this well-decked steel plate. It is the single largest piece of steel recovered from the World Trade Center on display as an artifact. It is engraved with the ship's commission date, motto, and the number of firefighters, New York Police Department, and Port Authority personnel who lost their lives on 9/11. On the wall to the left of the steel plate are paintings by USS New York sailors. This one is a silhouette painting of New York City with the Twin Towers still intact, displaying the words, "Never Forget," below.
I'm from New York, from the Bronx, so coming here to this ship and see all the memorabilia of everything that happened, after September 11, it hits home.
To be part of USS New York is not only an honor, but it takes me back to 6th grade when watching on the news, towers were hit. So it hits home. The motto, or the nation, if you will, at that point in time was, "We are united." So I think here, we, USS New York, stand united.
Each piece of 9/11 memorabilia is unique. This firefighter jacket was worn by Bill Butler, who served with Chinatown's Ladder 6. He survived the North Tower collapse by taking cover under a stairwell. This New York Police Department uniform was worn by a sergeant who was near Ground Zero when the attacks occurred. There is a hole in the right shoulder, caused when debris struck the officer. Next to it is a uniform worn by a New York City fireman at Ground Zero, which also bears the marks of that fateful day. Some tribute pieces were created to be placed on New York. This subway stop bench, built and gifted by New York City contractors, sits on the engineering department deck. Fittingly, it has become the heart of social life on the ship. The sign above the bench is a replica of the subway station sign that lay below the World Trade Center. The tiles with the words "Never Forget" came from Metropolitan Transportation Center. While many sailors expressed pride in serving aboard New York, it is also reflected in their day-to-day duties, as expressed by the ship's electrical officer.
I've been in engineering for most of my tour, so I was in main propulsion division for the first of it. So they deal with the engines that we have on board, the generators. That was really rewarding, just seeing the sailors that work so hard 24/7, especially on deployment, just constantly making sure that the ship's got engines ready to go. And then I recently switched over to electrical officer, and same thing, hardworking sailors. It's incredible and humbling.
Such sentiments and the singular experience of serving aboard a 9/11 tribute ship are reflected in the crest. Notice the rays of sunlight. This represents the crown atop the Statue of Liberty and the seven seas. In the center are the Twin Towers. Between them is the bow of the ship, forged with the tower steel. The black, red, and blue lines on the Phoenix breastplate represent first responders from the New York Police Department, New York Fire Department, and Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Blood drops symbolize the fallen. The three stars recall the action of battleship USS New York in World War II at Iwo Jima, Okinawa, and in North Africa. The sailors who serve aboard USS New York and see these tributes daily are not only reminded of what happened on that fateful day, but also find a sense of identity, reminding them why they do what they do in the United States Navy.
Just being here every day is a constant reminder of why I do this, why all the sacrifices that I make, being away from my family and everything else, this makes it worthwhile because I know the sacrifice that not just military, but the New York City Police Department and the firefighters, they doing all what they can to make this place a better place. So I feel that I'm doing my part, by just putting my uniform every day and doing my job at 110%.
A normal day on New York is not a typical day like you would see on any other ship. There's still kind of that underlying drive, and you can ask more of your sailors, more of the officers on board, more of the Marines, because they all have that in the back of their mind, the sacrifice that went into 9/11 and all the first responders, and just being able to hear their stories is just as a constant reminder of what you're working towards.
At least as long as there are people who remember what happened on 9/11 and the significance and what followed, then this ship will always be a memorial to them. So as a memorial, I think it's sort of a righteous thing, as an honor to it.